Hey guys, how's it going? Matt here with another video. For those of you that have been with me from the beginning, you'll know that I was cycling around the world on a trike once.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time. I was helped by people all around the world. You know, the community of people in the recumbent trike industry were very helpful, and this guy, Pat, was one of the most helpful. As a matter of fact, on my trike there was components galore that was from his company, TerraCycle. And so we are at his facility here in Portland. So how long have you been running TerraCycle?
Since 1996. So
okay.
26 years.
Wow. What would you describe TerraCycle's mantra? Would it be summed up in a couple of sentences?
Exquisite recumbent cycling parts.
Exquisite recumbent cycling parts.
We like making nice stuff.
Yeah.
We like making unique stuff. We like making things that solve problems. We like making things that last a long time and are very versatile. A lot of our stuff's really adjustable, you know, more than it needs to be, but it covers a lot of whatever you might want to do with it. So
almost over-engineered.
Well, almost.
Almost. What is your background? Because a lot of your stuff is millwork. Was metal fabricating something that you did as a kid or as a younger fella?
When I was a kid, we had a wood shop in the basement, and I was down there all the time making stuff. And I always wanted to do more metal stuff, but metal stuff was beyond what we could do with, you know, the hand tools and stuff. We, you know, had an egg beater drill and things like that when I was little. And I was like, you know, that was a bear in metal, and I always wanted to do metal stuff. Yeah. Then when I went to school, I got a degree in electrical engineering and computer science. You could say I was seduced by the dark side there, but I love computers and electrical stuff. I wanted to get a mechanical engineering degree also, but it was going to take another semester. And my wife and I were tired of being poor, so we graduated and I went and got a job at Tektronix. And then from there, started up another company and started up another company. And then got totally burned out on the computer business. I wanted to make things that lasted and that people, you know, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, this thing was still working for them and they still enjoyed using it. And so I'd always wanted to make bikes, and I got into recumbents, and I was making bikes, making short wheelbase bikes for several years. And I made all the parts for my bikes. And then other people started coming to me and saying, you know, I really like your bike, but I have this other bike. Can I buy this from you and put it on my bike? Because it's really cool. And then other manufacturers started coming to me asking for parts, and I was like, why am I making bikes? It's a ton of work to make custom bikes. Right. You know, frames one at a time, and I really enjoyed that, but it was a lot of work, and nobody was addressing the component side of recumbents. Everybody was focusing on the bikes and the trikes. So I decided, then I'll do the components. The components, yeah. So,
what would you say is the majority of your components, if you were to divide them between trikes and bikes in a recumbent category? How many go to people who are setting their bikes up, and how many people are using them on trikes?
Well, you know, it's totally flip-flopped in the last 10 years. Yeah. You know, as you know.
It used to be bikes, and now
it used to be bikes and very few trikes, and now it's almost all trikes and, you know, very few bikes. All right. I mean, we still support a lot of bikes, but the focus is all on trikes. Welcome to TerraCycle. This is our production area here. Okay. Got Anthony racking up things on our anodizing rack. The anodizer is a couple miles away. Okay. So we take it down there, and with our rack, they can turn it around usually in a day or 2 days. But that rack is entirely titanium except for a few aluminum pieces at the top and the bottom. We're making the exit assist clamps for cat trikes on this machine today. We've changed our tooling management, and we've expanded to have more standard tools so that we can do changeovers quicker.
Each one of these is going to be cut. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces.
There's going to be 4 pieces. Okay. You know, once the blank goes in, we drill and tap it and do some features, and then we generally mount it to a jig. In some orientation, maybe 2 orientations. The first thing it does is it comes in and drills the holes that are going to get tapped. Yeah, we really need to put a GoPro in there.
Yeah, it would be good. This is a little Scorpion. This is a fun runabout.
This 20? Yep. We're very fortunate. We need to have lots of different things in-house to test parts on and do photo shoots and make instructions and stuff like that. So we got to ride them too. So
yeah. It's a good job. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, this is my trike. I mean, it's the same style and design as mine. Do not touch the tool in operation. Ah, oh, come on, you're no fun. They should put that on a shirt though, that would be funny.
I just thought it was surprisingly graphic. Yeah. This is a Japanese machine.
This one too, just in case you need to know what exactly happens when you touch that electricity.
These parts on the lathe, so this is part of a clamp for a seat side mount.
Yeah, this actually on the back of this you have a spreader, right?
Yes. Yeah, this gets a second operation to put the...
And then there's a little bit back there that when you tie it down, it spreads inside the tube. Right. Like I know this because I installed this on my trike. It's pretty cool.
It's called a wedge clamp. Yeah. Internal wedge clamp. So it's cylindrical now, but it goes on a second operation, and then we put the 45-degree bevel on it.
One of the unique things about this in particular is that you have a lot of different operations. So you have a lathe, then you have holes that are drilled in, then these holes are threaded, then you have a hole through the center, and then you have this dug out.
The half cylinder there.
And then you have flats, like you have a flat here that's cut, and then that's here that's cut. This machine right here does all of those functions on this at one time.
This was part of a round bar of aluminum.
Yeah.
About 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, and now it's out, plugged in there.
How many different parts do you produce out of this one machine?
Oh gosh. Do you have an idea of that, Quentin? Are we doing like 30 or 40 different SKUs out of this?
I think right now we have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 40 unique part numbers that are being made by this.
Yeah. You might think seeing these machines that there's a lot of like environmental waste and things like that, but everything is circulated through the machine over and over until it goes bad and then sent out to a recycling center and it's purified.
And then all the chips are recycled also.
Of course, yeah, that's just melted down.
A big pile of barrels out there.
Yeah. And then what's this machine doing right here?
We actually just recently had the spindle rebuilt on this machine. It's a 20 horsepower, 20,000 RPM spindle with a pallet changer.
And a lot of these machine processes, there's a mill time, obviously, to produce the part that you're working with from the raw material into whatever shape that you want, but there's also setup. And a lot of times you'll have a lot of these forms that will be jigs that you'll be designed to hold whatever part you're working on. And oftentimes when you're putting the new part in, the machine is turned off or it's waiting. Whereas when you have one of these sort of lazy Susans, basically, by the time the milling process is done, you've already set up the next set of jigs with the new parts, and it just kind of rotates on through and rotates on through. It saves a lot of time.
The compressor just shut off, so we can go in the compressor room.
Okay.
Yeah. Is an interesting process here. This is a deburring tumbler, and these are stones that have abrasive in them.
Okay.
And what you do is...
They're not very abrasive, they're very smooth.
Well, we like our things to have a nice smooth finish, so these aren't really super aggressive.
I want to eat them. They look like candy.
You don't want to eat them, believe me, you don't want to eat them. So you put parts in, and you turn this on.
When I was a kid, we lived in Michigan, upstate Michigan. We used to have Petoskey stones. You know what Petoskey stones are?
No.
They're an ancient coral that has been, that used to be prevalent in millions of years ago. And so we would take, find a Petoskey stone and we'd take it to a tumbler. And every dad in Michigan has had his kids tumble a bunch of stones.
But this is the same idea, but kind of industrially for metal parts.
Yeah, cool.
Bought this machine in 1996.
Okay.
It was one of my first purchases back when it was just me in a 400 square foot shop in an old barn in southeast Portland.
Okay.
And the old barn was a great place to start, but our saying there was, it's slightly less windy and rainy inside than outside. But the price was right to get started. All the spreadsheets started working as soon as I found that space. The original glide flexes were made on this machine.
Okay.
And that was one of our big initial hit products.
Okay.
And then we started making idlers on this machine. We made the early elite idlers, which are all aluminum and titanium.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
For somebody that doesn't understand what an idler is designed to channel the chain in a specific way so that they thread through the undercarriage of a trike or a recumbent bike.
Right, it's designed to redirect a chain angle somewhere. Yeah. Do it efficiently, do it quietly.
The amount of travel that you get on a chain with regards to a recumbent bike or a trike, it's so long. It's so long. You need to make sure that that chain goes where you want it to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So how many parts does this machine produce?
Oh God, tons and tons.
A lot.
Lordy, yeah, a lot. I graduated college in 1980, so with computer science and electronics, electrical engineering, computer science. So I know everything. I was familiar with everything. All the computers in it. There's 3 computers in here, and I worked with all those in school and you know, knew all the stuff. So I'm good at repairing it.
Okay.
Whereas everybody else here, it's like it's from way before they were born. Kind of thing.
All right, what's next?
Those are all jig numbers that are related to part numbers, which are related to file names, which are related to SKUs. So that's our part number for the part. And this is a jig that holds it, and that's jig JB61 is the jig that does that part number. This is one that holds idlers while we're making the cogs. So it holds the cog blanks. There's a 2-stage program for cogs. This step does all the decorative windows, the lightning windows, and it does the inside.
You order those bearings or you make those bearings?
We buy those bearings from Ningbo.
Really?
Yeah. Ningbo Hangsheng Bearing Company.
That's so cool. So the bearing inside this idler came from my neighborhood. My hometown.
Yeah.
My second hometown.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Does it say made in Ningbo on it?
No. We also get our ceramic bearings from them. In 100,000 bearings, we've had 5 that were bad. Yeah, we always give them a spin test after we build it.
Well, once you make a good bearing, it's pretty easy to replicate that process over and over and over. My original idler was toast. The thru bolt. Remember we had that thru bolt problem?
Right, yeah.
So many little things.
Oh, but everything wears when you go as many miles as you do. Everything wears out. So.
Nothing's meant to last forever.
Bins and bins of parts. All kinds of clamps.
I have a couple of these on the Trike.
You do indeed. Let's see, these are 1" to 7/8. I think you've got the 30 to 7/8, 30 millimeters 7/8 in the back of your seat.
And some of these too, I think.
So this is the glide flex stem that I was telling you about. Yeah, so it's very smooth. And the other nice thing about it is the static friction is very close to the running friction.
I know that feeling of when you start to break it.
Right.
Sometimes it'll give you that.
Right.
And then
it doesn't do that. It just
very consistent.
It just starts to move.
Yeah, very, very consistent. Yeah. Neat.
This has the greatest sound when it fires up. You'll love this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Takes it off. But this guy here is older than I am. This is a 1952 model.
Wow. Big shipment. Big shipment coming in Friday.
Yeah, we've got lots of different kinds of flags. We've expanded the flag repertoire a bit.
Yeah.
The flame flag, and people have said, can you do bubbles? This is a picture I took with my iPhone when I was walking down the street to go get lunch, and it was a beautiful summer day.
Yeah.
And the flag was there. I was like, that's cool. I'll take a picture of it. and we turned it into a flag.
If you guys don't know, when you're riding a recumbent trike especially, you are really low to the ground. So your head, my head would sit at about this height, right around my thigh, and staying visible is one of the most important things that's going to keep you safe when you're cycling. And so you have to have some sort of a flag that hangs up above. I mean, obviously, if you know recumbent trikes, you know this already. Remember when I had the net, the fishing net?
Yeah.
I tied the fishing net to the back of the trike.
That was in Taiwan or something, right?
Yeah, that was Taiwan. I reached out to you at a certain point, and I said, hey, could you make an extra large one?
Yeah.
The big brother.
Big size.
Big brother.
It's German-made cloth, printed in Minnesota, and then they're sewn here in Portland at a place called Black Star Bags, which is right next door to Recumbent PDX.
Yeah. I remember. I saw them.
The digital printing actually is extremely UV resistant.
They don't fade.
It's a polyester material, and the dyes are locked in. These won't fade like the fluorescent type things will. As you travel and it starts going back, it gets more and more streamlined. Yeah. The faster you go.
It does a little dance though. It'll like do a little shimmy.
It's dancing, but it's not going crazy. Yeah.
It's not flailing.
Yeah.
Is this purposeful? Is this purposeful?
Oh, no, I was just sitting
Did you do that on purpose?
This is...
There's a Jayoe there. Can you see the Jayoe there? I'm like, wait a second, that exclamation point looks familiar. We're talking about Pat's sort of your philosophy a little bit, right? In managing your shop, and that a lot of the people here that man the machines and stuff, when they're finished with their shift, they have an opportunity to utilize the shop for a purpose on their own desire.
Yeah, make their own stuff for their own bikes, or make their own bike. I mean, Mike's welded up a couple bikes here and stuff.
Yeah.
People should have lots of interesting things to do. And there's this shop here, and if you know, Quentin comes in on the weekend and makes some parts for himself, he's also learning more about the machine.
He's learning skills that are useful for his job as well.
When he goes to make a TerraCycle part, it'll be easier next time, because he worked all weekend on his own stuff. So I'm totally happy with that, and it's working out really well. It
pushes their creativity, right? Their personal creativity, which is going to blend into their job. It makes them feel more of a affiliation, a bond with the shop itself.
In Quentin's case, with the Doom bars, it's helping a former employee and her partner, the small bicycle business, and so
that's very cool. I don't know, how common is that? I mean, I've never heard of too many people that are like, yeah, stick around, do your own thing, you know, after hours. So yeah, it's very interesting to take a look inside of a place and meet a friend who you've been dealing with for such a long time. And I hope that you guys found this interesting. I sure as hell did. I really enjoy coming around, and obviously I've been using a lot of the TerraCycle, the T-Cycle stuff for so long. To see where it was born is interesting. I hope you found it interesting too. If you want to buy anything from T-Cycle, just go to T-Cycle.com and check out his facilities. And now that you know where the stuff is coming from, it can have an attachment to the product line. So thanks for showing me around.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It's fun to see you.
Cool. Maybe if the rain abates, we can go for a ride.
That'd be fun.
In the next little while. So take it easy, Jayoe. Like, subscribe, share, and then jump on TerraCycle and tell them Jayoe as well. My question is, why is that bike smelly?
That's roughly the shape out. It uses a lot of material really quickly. Yeah. Coming in and doing more precision shaping.